Part 192. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1916. Immortal Master, my subordinates are incompetent, but I already have the appearance of an immortal lord. I can explore where the hidden dangers are in the glazed immortal realm. Ji Tianqing knelt down again. Zuyun smiled and said, perhaps this hidden danger is that the Chaos Lotus and the glazed star will merge into chaos. No problem, if there is any problem in the glazed immortal realm, I will be able to feel it immediately. He pointed to his forehead, self-evidently. Seeing that Zuyun did not blame him, Ji Tianqing felt even more ashamed. After pondering for a moment, he said, Immortal Master, please rest assured that my subordinates will also explore the glazed fairy world. Zuyun thought for a moment and said, well, you are the immortal lord anyway. You should also take a good look at this glazed immortal realm. Next, I will most likely put the holy demon star into it. If the immortal master can add enough creatures, the source of the immortal realm will become stronger and stronger, and it may help chaos take shape faster. By then, the immortal master will also be able to achieve the realm of the immortal lord. Ji Tianqing's words made Zuyun very happy. Isn't this one of the reasons why he came to Chaos Xingai? Only when he reaches the immortal lord realm can he dare to venture into the Chinese immortal realm. Look at Qiu Linjian, look at Ye Yang, what tricks are they trying to play? He believed what Ye Yang said. But Ye Yang wanted to go back to Blue Star and leave this mess here, but he didn't agree with it. If there is no strong man to control the immortal world, wouldn't the human race be in chaos again? Zuyun was thinking wildly in his mind, and his body was still absorbing the chaos immortal power emitted by the Chaos Lotus. But when his body was completely filled with immortal power, a thought also appeared in his mind, making him look extremely weird. He said that Ye Yang wanted to leave the mess behind, so why didn't he? Do you want to hide in the Liulai immortal realm after solving it? Thinking of this, Zuyun also burst into laughter. Ji Tianqing has already flown into the void of the fairy world, and Zuyun is also rushing to the holy demon star. He flashed and reappeared in the sea of chaotic stars. He looked at the location where the three-eyed demon star originally existed. Now there was nothing at all. Only the power of space laws entangled and repaired the space cracks caused by him. With a sigh, Zuyun summoned Meng Wei out. Wei, lead the way. Meng Wei had a stern look on his face, nodded slightly, then grasped the magic knife tightly and flew away quickly. On the magic knife, the demonic energy and the immortal power intertwined and flowed, breaking through the void at extremely fast speeds. Although Zuyun is invincible in his own Liulai immortal realm, in the Tongtian immortal realm, he is still Lucian immortal. Zuyun is leaving, what should I do? Wan Potion played with the Chaos Emperor chain in his hand. He always felt that after arriving at the Holy Demon Star, there would definitely be a big battle. I don't know when the Chaos Sword and Wanjian Mountain will be recovered. It's not that this Chaos Emperor chain is not easy to use. In fact, Zuyun said that this is an immortal weapon under the immortal way. What if it is used in the Tongtian immortal realm, but is counterattacked by the immortal master? This is also a huge hidden danger. By the way, the two brats Big Dog and Ergo said before that they were walking on Liulai Star and came across a place called Sword Valley. Sword Valley is very capable of refining swords. Why don't I go and find out? With their help, maybe I can get a sword embryo recognized by Heavenly Dao here. When the Chaos Sword is completed, that boy Zuyun will definitely look at me with admiration. Thinking of this, Wan Potion said goodbye to everyone. The affairs of these demon lords can be arranged by Zhen Longxi, and Wan Potion went directly back to his sword sect. De Go and Ergo, as well as Yezi and others, had already broken through the realm of Earth Immortal and returned here early. Seeing Wan Potion coming back, Dago subconsciously stopped in front of Ergu, fearing that this old boy Wan Potion would settle the score with Ergu. Am I such a stingy person? Wan Potion touched his chin and said angrily, Big dog, I remember you told me about Sword Valley. Do you still remember where Sword Valley is? I remember, Daegu breathed a sigh of relief and said, but we were on the glazed star at that time, and now we are on the soul-eating demonic star. I don't know if Xiao Zhu has moved the Sword Valley here as well. Damn it, don't I still want to look for you? Wan Potion stared. Lao Wan, do you want to make a chaos sword? The big dog is not stupid either. If you think about it carefully, you will know Wan Potion's intention to re-establish the mountain section isn't it Chaos Sword and Wanjian Mountain that Wan Potion did? If the sword is successful, Wan Potion's strength will also increase greatly. In particular, the Chaos Sword made in the glazed immortal realm can be used more easily in the Tongtian immortal realm and will not be restricted by the Tongtian immortal Dao. Yes, otherwise I would ask you what to do. Wan Potion sat down on the ground. The soul-eating demonic star was not big, but it was not that easy for him to find it. Even if he is an immortal king. How about we help you look for it together? Big dogs can tell the difference between seriousness and seriousness, so he took the initiative to speak. Really? Will it not delay your cultivation? Wan Po Tian was overjoyed. Although he taught swordsmanship to these people, in essence, their relationship was that of both teachers and friends. Coupled with his original temperament, he is quite friendly when getting along with him. What's delaying us? If we Earth Immortals continue to practice, how many days can we become true Immortals? The big dog wrinkled his nose, and the second dog shook his pigtails with a smile, me too. Ha ha ha, okay, okay. Wan Potion patted his thigh and stood up, saying, then go and look for it quickly. I'm waiting for your good news. When Wan Jianshan comes back, I'll take out my family property and share it with you. Don't worry, De Go said with a smile, many hands make light work. Call brother Ye, Ergo and others to come and look for it together. Old Wan, just take a good rest here, and leave the rest to me and De Go. Ergo also took the initiative to say. A warm current flashed through Wan Potion's heart. Being able to play with Zuyun since childhood, it turns out that they have similar personalities. De Go called all the acquaintances who had broken through to the earthly immortal realm one by one, and after explaining the characteristics of the Sword Valley, they scattered. After they agreed to get the news, they quickly returned to the Sword Sect to tell Wan Potion. But they didn't know that the people of the Sword Valley today were brought from the Yellow Star to the Great Universe World, and experienced the Great Universe World to the Glazed World, and then to the Glazed Immortal Realm. It can be said that the people of the Sword Valley have also been fully recognized by the Glazed Immortal Dao. After being moved to the soul-devouring demon star by Zuyun with supreme magical powers, they found a deserted valley and continued to practice sword forging. But Feng Qingyang always felt that something was wrong. The uneasiness in his heart made him instinctively want to hide. Maybe it's because the demonic energy here is too strong? Moreover, we are just cultivators and are not used to the pressure of this immortal power. Feng Qingyang looked at the sky and finally looked behind him. There was an extremely dark cave that went straight to the ground. They dug it out after gathering all the sects. Having had the experience of surviving on Huangming Star, Feng Qingyang understood the truth that if a tree stands out in the forest, the wind will push it. Wasn't it the same in the Sword Valley back then? I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzhuan Xianxia. Chapter 1917. Holy Demon Star. After Mahumming passed the message to Mengwea, he stood quietly by the sea, with his back to the leaders of the ancient demon clan. He was afraid that if he was not careful, he would reveal his clues, which would cause these demon kings to do something. He was not afraid of death. If he could live, he certainly did not want to die. I don't know which tribes among these demon kings were mixed with nightmare demons. Nightmare demons are good at disguise. They will disguise themselves as the appearance of the corresponding demon clan, and then have sex with them to reproduce offspring. Usually, many demon clans, after many years, all have nightmare blood without knowing it. This is what Muhammad feared. However, the Holy Demon clan does not have to worry. They have the Holy Demon Eye, and even Nangong Tianli, who was strong in the past, did not dare to attack Nujiao rashly. It is conceivable that the nightmare demons are afraid of the Holy Demon clan. This sea water seems a little different. Just looking at the sea, Muhammad suddenly found that the originally dark sea water with pure magic energy was slowly returning to its original blue color. In the beginning, the Holy Demon Star was a blue sea. After hundreds of thousands of years of painstaking management and the reproduction of the tribe, this sea area, since it is called the Holy Demon Sea, is naturally the source of the power of the Holy Demon clan. So, after destroying the totem pole, Mengwei inserted his magic knife into the sea for this purpose. While controlling the entire Holy Demon clan, he also expressed his determination. And the magic energy in the Holy Demon Sea has also changed slightly due to the relationship between the yin-yang chaos circle. It's just that the color is still as dark as before. But in front of him, Muhammad can actually vaguely see the bottom of the water near the coast, which makes him extremely suspicious. Could it be that I previously used the Holy Demon Sea to send a message to the Demon Lord, thus affecting the sea area? Or, the Demon Lord Meng can use the magic knife to extract the magic energy in the Holy Demon Sea out of thin air. Thinking that he did not get a response from Mengwei, Muhammad secretly wondered if Mengwei was deceived by Shi Huiyan. If that's the case, I'm afraid my Holy Demon clan. Thinking of this possibility, Muhammad couldn't help but look sad. But then he thought, if something happened to Mengwei, this sea area would definitely cause an uproar. Now, although the color of the sea area is getting lighter, it looks like the magic energy is getting less, but the sea surface is calm, as before. I hope this is just my own fantasy. Muhammad exhaled lightly and turned his head to look behind him. At some point, the 9 patriarchs of the ancient demon clan were already behind him, as if they had been standing for a long time. Muhammad was startled, and then he said in a deep voice, "What are you doing, clan leaders? Are you bullying me, Muhammad, who is only at the Mojun level?" After he finished speaking, the other members of the Holy Demon clan in the distance also stood up and looked towards this place. The resolute momentum did not disappear. The chief of the whale-swallowing clan said coldly, "There is something in this sea." The chief of the Triangle clan also said, "I remember that the Holy Demon Sea was not like this before. Is there someone swallowing the demonic energy in it?" After saying that, he turned his head and looked at the chief of the whale-swallowing clan. "Don't look at me," said the chief of the whale-swallowing clan in a cold voice, "all of us from the whale-swallowing demon clan are here. No more, no less. This could never have been done by our clan. I just took a casual look, why are you reacting so strongly?" The chief of the Triangle clan said again, "In addition to the aura of the Holy Demon, there is also an extremely mysterious immortal power in this Holy Demon Sea. Muhammad, I need an explanation." Muhammad was shocked. He knew better than anyone that Mengwei had been in the immortal world and almost became an immortal. If it weren't for the Holy Demon clan in the end, she wouldn't have turned back into a demon body. But even the people of the Holy Demon clan didn't know the secret. "There's nothing to explain," Muhammad sneered, "maybe, some immortal broke into the Holy Demon Sea. Didn't something fall into the sea before?" The demon lords were stunned. Indeed, when they saw that scene, they all thought it was a fragment of the wasteland outside the sky. The rules of the Chaos Sea are chaotic, and it is not surprising that some wastelands collide with the world star, causing fragments to fly everywhere. However, these fragments are generally difficult to pass through the protection of the world star itself, and they have turned into ashes before they fall to the ground. The Holy Demon Star is in the deepest part of the Chaos Star Sea. If you say that other demons have mistakenly entered this place, I can believe it. But how is it possible for immortals? The demons dare not leave the Chaos Star Sea rashly, and immortals will not easily break into it alone. Not to mention the location of the holy demon star. Muhammad could not find an understanding, so he could only say stubbornly, or, go to the sea to find it yourself. If you want me to explain, I don't know at all. He spread his hands, and then sat down by himself, looking like a rogue, which made the demon kings helpless. Now that Menghui has not returned, they know that the Holy Demon Sea is the forbidden area of the Holy Demon clan. People from other races must not enter the sea. Even if someone from the tribe goes to sea, they need the consent of the tribe leader, Menghui. Wait a little longer. Triangle tribe leader sighed and retreated again, and the rest of the demon tribe did the same. But only Whale Sky tribe leader was stunned. Whale Swallow, haven't you seen enough? Triangle tribe leader shouted in a low voice. Now that the Four Eyebrows tribe leader is gone, they are like scattered sand. The most taboo thing at this time is to act differently. I seem to feel someone using the devouring magic skill, but it seems a little different. The whole audience was shocked when this was said. No clan leader would misjudge the innate magic skill of their clan. The words of the devouring clan leader clearly explained. Could it be that an immortal has practiced the devouring magic skill that you have modified? There is immortal power in the Holy Demon Sea. Although it has nothing to do with Zhu Feng, they naturally guessed in that direction because of their preconceived guesses. It was also a coincidence that everyone thought of the past of the clan. Adapting the innate magic skill into a magic skill suitable for human practice. But few people succeeded. The more ancient the demon clan is, the more difficult it is for them to practice their magic skill. On the contrary, some inconspicuous demon clans have already had demon immortals ascend to heaven. It is very likely. Chief Whale Swallowed looked back and saw Chief Ulogo speaking, and then he said, but devouring demonic art has a big drawback. No matter how much the human race practices, they don't have a demon body as strong as our whale-swallowing demon clan, and can't withstand the turbulent power after swallowing. Vitality, blood, and flesh essence and all kinds of things are inherently very repulsive. The initial practice will not be affected because of the low realm. But as the realm increases, the problem will become bigger and bigger. Not to mention ascending, after practicing to the nascent soul stage, it is probably difficult to survive the catastrophe and withstand the 9-day thunder tribulation of the heavenly Deo. The heavenly thunder of the fairy world has an inexplicable pressure on the demonic energy, and ordinary people don't know why. But the demons know that this is another way for the pressure of the fairy to be expressed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzhuan Xianxia. Chapter 1918. Then what do you think we should do? The three-eyed patriarch said again. I want to go down and have a look. The Jingtun clan leader glanced at Muhammad. If you want to go down, I can't stop you. Mo Hemming was not panicked. The Holy Demon Sea used to be a forbidden area, but it was no longer allowed. Any demon can enter it, as long as he can withstand the chaotic power inside. If the Dream Demon Lord comes, please plead guilty to her on my behalf. The leader of the Jingtun tribe retracted his gaze, said something deeply, and then went straight into the sea. At the same time, high in the sky. Not good, not good, there are immortals in the sea of saints and demons. The Sci-fi patriarch did not leave. Although he flew away from the holy demon star angrily, he was still acting for Muhammad to see. But in his heart, he had a vague feeling that something was wrong, so he stayed outside the holy demon star and carefully calculated with his magic power. The result shocked him. He could predict that the holy demon clan would be fine. But he couldn't believe that the remaining 9 demon clans would finally surrender to this. In his plan, he provoked a conflict between the Holy Demon Clan and the other 9 ancient demon clans. Then, when the Chaos Star Sea is unified, he can go to the passage to completely explode this conflict on the way to the fairy world. At that time, with the help of the demonic energy gushing out from their chaotic battle, the passage to the demon world will be expanded in one fell swoop. Then in the demon world, countless more powerful extraterrestrial demons can swarm in and kill directly into the fairy world. In the troubled times of the fairy world, this is the best time. Otherwise, when the fairy world is unified, they may never have a chance again. No, if we let it go, I'm afraid we'll be in constant trouble. Now, I can only unite with other nightmare descendants. The Sci-fi patriarch's body flashed and he left quickly. In the sea of chaotic stars, there are many demons with nightmare blood. It's just that their bloodline is not that pure, so they don't know it. And the father of the Sci-fi clan leader is actually a nightmare. It is conceivable that he is not much different from the nightmare now. Here we are, that's the holy demon star. Seeing the familiar demon star, Mengwei didn't feel the surge of demonic energy, and couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. As long as it's okay, let's go in and take a look first. Zuyun nodded and headed towards the holy demon island with Mengwei. But before they fell, thousands of demons were discovered, gathering in one place. Mengwei knew that the ancient demons were here. Since there was no fight, it meant that the leader of the Four Eyebrows had not started a fight. The patriarch is back. Mengwei let out a startled sound and landed on the original position of the totem pole. Meet the clan leader. Tens of thousands of holy and demon tribesmen knelt on the ground one after another, extremely pious, and pressed their heads tightly to the ground. No gift. Mengwei said lightly, then turned to look at the other 8 clan leaders. Without the Jingtun clan leader, she couldn't help but be stunned. Zuyun also fell down at this time and stood beside him, looking at the demon kings with interest. There are 8 clan leaders. But there are dozens of demon kings. He seemed calm, but he thought that there might be a nightmare behind it, so he didn't dare to neglect it. If a fight breaks out, he will immediately summon Shi Weiyuan and other demon lords from the glazed immortal realm. This is Mengwei's home court again, so they may not be at a disadvantage. Dream Demon Lord, the leader of the Triangle clan, took a step forward and said, I am here to discuss with you rationally whether what you are doing in the Sea of Chaotic Stars will help the development of our entire demon clan. The other clan leaders also nodded. Mengwei chuckled lightly and said, is this what you guys mean, or, what the Sci-fi clan leader means? Patriarch Yoluo took a step forward and said, Dream Lord, is there any difference? Mengwei said lightly, chief of the Yoluo clan, Wei once practiced Yoluo demonic skills in the lower realm, and he is related to the Yoluo demon clan. The leader of the Yoluo clan was stunned, but he had never heard Mengwei talk about this matter. After feeling it carefully, he found that Mengwei had a familiar demonic aura. Just when Mengwei was thinking about what Mengwei meant, Zuyun took a step forward with a sneer on his face and said, what bullshit, ancient demon clan. Wei thought of your ancestors' great achievements in opening up the passage to the immortal world. I've saved you enough face. To put it bluntly, it's pity that you may perish in the chaotic sea of stars at any time, so you stand up and take on such an important responsibility. If you are so ignorant, don't blame us for being rude. Just when the Triangle clan chief and the Yoluo clan chief opened their mouths, Zuyun could see that the relationship between them was not strong. The reason must be that he was bewitched by the Four Eyebrows clan leader. He has seen too much of what nightmares are capable of. A sharp tongue always has a unique magical power that makes people believe. Mengwei sneered, held the demon knife in his hand, and waved it up, and the sea of holy demons was surging. But the next moment, her expression changed, and she quickly looked into the sea, and then she discovered the problem in the sea. Mengwei, It's fine if you insist on going your own way. But you actually let a human help you to stand up for you. If it were an immortal king, we would have to give you some face. But it's just a little Tianxian? Mengwei, it seems that you. Another demon clan leader shouted sternly, but before he finished speaking, he saw Zuyun raise his palm out of thin air. With the power of the laws of time and space, he suddenly came and stopped him in place. As Zuyun expected, these demons were not united. Zuyun's move not only aroused the indignation of the demons, but the other clan leaders did not take any action. Instead, they were shocked by Zuyun's methods. Although they were demons, they had lived in the Chaos Star Sea for a long time and had a certain understanding of the laws of the immortal way. They just couldn't understand the power of Zuyun's law. Wu Ya. Zuyun and Meng Wu Ya had a tacit understanding. He came here to support Meng Wu Ya. But he imprisoned one person, but Meng Wu Ya had no reaction at all. He also looked back quickly, and his pupils shrank suddenly. He saw that the huge water column raised by Meng Wu Ya with the magic knife was rotating like a dragon sucking water. In the middle of the water eye, a black shadow was glowing with grey light. This was clearly the power of Chaos Immortal. In addition, there were sword chi entwined around him. When Zuyun and Mengwei turned around, a demon clan leader took the opportunity to attack. If we don't take action now, when will we? This is the clan leader of the Yin Corpse demon clan. When he attacks, he uses the power of Yin. If other creatures are hit, they will immediately become like zombies. Not to mention death, even if they are alive, they will be used by him. Yin Corpse demon palm. He sent out two palms at the same time, one palm hitting Mengwei, and the other palm hitting Zuyun. Not good. Zuyun and Mengwei turned around at the same time, looking at the majestic demonic energy, their faces changed drastically. They were actually distracted at this moment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1919. Zhu Xian, Demon Lord. Although they turned back, Mahumming was always paying attention to the movements of these demon kings. After Zuyun scolded these people mercilessly, he felt the tense atmosphere and knew that some demon kings were dissatisfied and would most likely take action directly. He flew forward and smashed his body sideways. Bang! Bang! The two fleshy palms of the leader of the Yin Corpse clan suddenly hit Mahumming's body. Black blood foam flew and splashed on the faces of Zuyun and Mengwei. Mahumming! Zuyun gritted his teeth. He did not expect that Mahumming, who had been bullied by him, would save him at this critical moment. He roared angrily, stepped forward, and struck out with a chaos palm out of thin air. The majestic chaos power struck towards the leader of the Inferi clan. Human race, don't bully others too much. Seeing that Zuyun was in trouble, and the palm power surrounded them all, the demon kings were finally allowed to join forces to deal with it. They also used all their demonic energy to form a solid black shield. After Zuyun's chaos celestial palm hit it, it didn't work. However, Zuyun's palm was not intended to take anyone's life. No matter how angry he was, he knew that during the battle, he must not be swayed by his emotions. The purpose of his move was to distance himself from these people. Mengwei did not turn around. It was not easy for Zuyun to fight against so many demon kings by himself. After forcing everyone back, Zuyun's heart moved, and a black light suddenly appeared between his eyebrows. More than a dozen demon lords suddenly appeared in front of them. They lined up in a row, tightly protecting Zuyun behind them. And this scene naturally shocked countless demons on the holy demon star. Whether it's a demon king, or a demon man. No one knows where Shi Wuyuan, Yanzai, and others came from. Wei, how are you? Zuyun did not look back. He held the glazed fairy mirror tightly in his hand and did not dare to blink. Mengwei didn't respond to him, but instead burst into wild laughter that resounded throughout the world. The whale-swallowing demon clan, follow the clan leader and come to the side of the dream demon lord. This order undoubtedly caused the remaining ancient demons to change their expressions, and they had no idea what was going on. Shi Huiyan, Xianxia, and others couldn't help but frown, as if they remembered something. However, due to the situation at this time, they did not speak, but stared closely. The black demonic shield weakened a bit, and several people from the whale-devouring demon tribe flew away from the place, and finally fell to the sound. The place of origin. Whale swallow. Are you going to betray our ancient demon clan? The leader of the Inferi clan shouted angrily. What about betrayal? Chief Jingtun laughed and said, the holy demon sect of the Dream Demon Lord is also one of the ancient demon clans. Throughout the past hundreds of thousands of years, among the 10 ancient demon clans, only the holy demon clan is left. Naturally, I have to stand in line. Now, if you want to listen to the Sci-fi patriarch, then just listen, it's none of my business. After the words fell, the Jingtun clan leader took a few steps forward and stood beside Zhu Yun. Blessings to my fellow immortals. He took the initiative to say hello to Zhu Yun. Zhu Yun snorted lightly and didn't pay too much attention to his gesture of kindness. But suddenly, he was shocked. I have never told anyone my name, so how did I know about this Jingtun clan leader? Don't tell me. Also at this time, Meng Hui's red lips parted slightly, and he softly uttered 2 words. Bless the wind. Now that the head of the Jingtun clan is taking care of him, Zhu Yun can't take care of so much, so he immediately looks back. I saw that in the center of the water-absorbing dragon, gray and black light entwined, and demonic energy and fairy power coexisted. Zhu Feng stepped on the sword of the Black Tower, standing in the wind as a half-human and half-demon body. Brother. Zhu Yun took a deep breath, and then saw Zhu Feng turning to Meng Hui and holding his hands, sister-in-law. This call made Meng Hui feel shy, but it also made the remaining 8 ancient demon clans change their expressions. The titles of big brother and sister-in-law. Meng Hui, you actually. The leader of the Yin Corpse clan was instantly furious. But who would have thought that Zhu Feng suddenly stretched out his hand from the half-human body, stretched out 2 fingers, and a sharp sword appeared out of thin air. Chaos sword. Zhu Yun's eyes suddenly widened in disbelief. Wasn't this taken away by Xian Wuxing? Brother, I'll catch up with you later. Let me help my sister-in-law deal with these annoying people first. Before he finished speaking, Zhu Feng's half-demon body raised his voice slightly again. A big mountain also appeared out of thin air and smashed towards the black shield here. The head of the Jingtun clan shouted coldly, why don't you beg for mercy quickly? He is the future demon lord of our Jingtun clan. He opened his mouth wide, cleft to the base of his ears, and his voice was extremely loud, like thunder. In fury, it's all your fault for taking action first. I wanted to wait and see. The leader of the Yoluo clan gave a sweet shout and said loudly, people of the Yoluo clan, follow me out of the battle. The chaos sword pierced the shield and was instantly pressed against the throat of the Inferi clan leader. Even with the black scales protecting him, he still felt that the sword could penetrate directly. Wanjian Mountain hangs above everyone's heads. As long as Zhu Feng gives the order, this mountain will suppress all these demons here. But Zhu Yun and Meng Hui didn't speak, and Zhu Feng wouldn't ask for trouble. When the Jingtun clan chief entered the Holy Demon Sea, he immediately felt a familiar aura. The same is true for the Jingtun clan chief. They met at the bottom of the ocean. The chief of the whale-swallowing tribe passed on the whale-swallowing magic to Zhu Feng, helping him to break through the realm of Lushan Xianxia in one fell swoop. Not only that, the chief of the whale-swallowing tribe also learned a lot from Zhu Feng, so he immediately stood on Meng Hui's side after he appeared. As for the other demons, he could only remind them and not say too much, so as not to make Zhu Yun unhappy. Brother. Seeing Zhu Yun remain silent for a long time, Zhu Feng couldn't help but feel a little strange. This Xianxia tribe leader wanted to attack Zhu Yun and Meng Wei before. "I'm fine," Zhu Yun turned around, chuckled, and said, "Zhu Feng, I was afraid that you would be possessed by the devil. Now you are fine, it's really great. Wait a minute, I still have something to do." Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Zhu Yun stepped forward and walked to the place where the black blood foam was all over the ground. Although these demons have surrendered, but they are not surrendering to him. In this case, he will also use his means. After standing still, Zhu Yun raised his hand, and a black curtain tore through the space with his palm. The long river of time and space. Zhu Yun opened his mouth and uttered 4 words. The immortal power was lingering all over his body, and the laws flowed between his hands. All the demons looked at the scene in disbelief. In the long river of time and space, everyone was retreating. Before they could react, Zhu Yun reached into the long river of time and space with one hand. The next moment, Muhamming, who looked confused, was pulled out of it. Zhu Xian, Demon Lord. He seemed to have not understood the situation in front of him, and his memory stayed at the last moment before his death. When he saw the head of the Ying Corpse clan, he still rushed over regardless of everything. "I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills." Author, Banzhuan Xianxia. Chapter 1920. Zhu Yun obviously expected this situation. He raised his hand and a law of time and space appeared. Muhamming was only at the level of Demon Lord, so he was immediately frozen on the spot. "Come back." Then, he grabbed the void, and Muhamming retreated back to Zhu Yun's side. At this time, the long river of time and space had dissipated, and the black curtain returned to the original scene. Muhamming looked dazed, and had no idea what had happened. Zhu Yun ignored him, but looked at Zhu Feng and said, "Why did you become like this?" Zhu Feng chuckled and flew over from the holy demon sea with the black tower sword. "Brother," he first bowed, and then said, "It was because of some accidents caused by the devouring demon art. Fortunately, I devoured Xian Wuzong at that time. I didn't expect that Xian Wuzong would die in your hands in the end." Zhu Yun smiled bitterly. He had guessed it when he saw the 10,000 Swords Mountain and the Chaos Sword. Moreover, if you think about it carefully, you can understand that Zhu Feng's half-human, half-demon body is also in line with the Yin-Yang Dao, which prevented him from becoming a demon because of the devouring magic. At that time, I was afraid that you would have an accident, so I rushed into the Dozhuan Xinyi formation. Xian Wuzong couldn't recognize me at that time, and he was hiding in the tortoise shell, so I took the opportunity to attack and devour him directly. Zhu Yun nodded slightly, and then said, "I think you are the one who is looking for the devouring demon clan. Brother knows everything." Zhu Feng was slightly stunned. Zhu Yun nodded and said, "You are comfortable in devouring, but I was almost misunderstood by them as you." After that, he nodded towards Shi Huiyan and Yanzai. And obviously, the demon kings of these two tribes also knew that Zhu Feng was the culprit who harmed their people. But the problem is that Zhu Feng is actually Zhu Xianzu's brother, which is simply. Shi Huiyan reacted faster, stepped forward, and said hurriedly, "Zhu Xianzu, it was a coincidence. If it weren't for Zhu Feng, we wouldn't be here today." Yanzai also said hurriedly, "Indeed, it was an accident, it was fate." Zhu Yun chuckled, "You really don't take it to heart." Shi Wuji smiled bitterly, "Zhu Xianzu, is it possible that if you take it to heart, there will be a different result?" "You are frank." Zhu Yun knew that when Shi Wuji said this, it meant that everything was over, and there would obviously be no problem. After nodding slightly, he said, "I will let Zhu Feng give you an explanation." As soon as he finished speaking, the whale-devouring clan leader groaned, "Hey, I don't care who you are, Zhu Feng is now the patriarch of our whale-devouring demon clan. If you want to harm our patriarch, you must get through me first." He didn't know what happened here, but stood firmly beside Zhu Feng. Zhu Feng has taken a new path through the devouring magic power, which makes the devouring demon clan see the continuation of the future clan. His move is naturally to stand up for Zhu Feng. Even if Zhu Feng had any connection with them before, they must block it for Zhu Feng. Zhu Yun glanced at him lightly, ignored him, and looked at the bottom of Wanjian Mountain. Now, only the Yinchi clan leader has not left, because Zhu Feng's chaos sword is on his neck. The rest of the ancient demons retreated, fearing that they would be implicated. And the magic shield that was jointly used is already extremely weak, and it will break if it touches it. I can do it too. The Yinchi clan leader's eyes showed fear. Now he is completely at a disadvantage, not to mention that Zhu Feng's sword is on him. The overall strength of the Yinchi demon clan is not as good as the devouring demon clan. But as soon as the voice fell, Zhu Feng controlled the chaos sword and stabbed it. The heavy black scales did not hesitate at all. The chaos sword pierced through his neck, and the devil blood splashed everywhere. A strange fishy smell spread throughout the entire holy demon island. Nightmare demon bloodline. Zhu Yun exclaimed. If there is any characteristic of the nightmare demon, it is the stench. When he was in Huangming Xing, this stench made him unforgettable. Now he actually smelled it in the blood of the Yin Corpse clan leader. Brother, kill. Seeing the Yin Corpse clan leader fall down with an expression of complete disbelief, Zhu Feng pulled back the chaos sword. When he asked the question, Wang Jianshan had already flown towards the rest of the demon lords of the Yin Corpse demon clan. Boom! 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 Seeing the clan leader die here, the other Yin Corpse demon lords suddenly increased their demonic energy. How could they care about others? They all controlled the demonic energy in their bodies and flew towards the sky. Want to run? Too late. Zhu Yun's expression suddenly changed when he saw it. While blasting out the power of the law of time and space with one palm, he also took out the glazed immortal mirror with his other hand. Time and space are forbidden. He shouted in a low voice, and those demon kings who ran slowly were immediately fixed in place and smashed into pieces by Wang Jianshan, who was chasing closely. The stench in the air was even worse. And the rest of the demon kings also moved. Whale-devouring demon clan, follow me to kill. The whale-devouring clan leader roared, and the demon kings of the whale-devouring demon clan in the crowd rushed up with their mouths wide open. The rest of the demon kings did the same. They have suffered from the nightmare demon for a long time. It can be said that they were forced to flee from the demon realm to the Chaos Star Sea in the immortal realm because the nightmare demon clan was behind the scenes. At the same time, Shi Huiyan and others also flew up quickly. Those Yinchi demon lords who escaped quickly escaped Zhu Yun's time and space restrictions. At this moment, they fully released their momentum and fled in a panic. These demon lords were actually difficult to catch up. Wu Ya! Zhu Yun roared, and Meng Wu Ya immediately understood. She tightly grasped the magic knife, and her eyes glowed red. The eye of the holy demon. Then, the magic knife also changed. In Meng Wu Ya's hand, it rushed towards the sky like a giant pillar. Don't let them escape. Zhu Yun flew up, with the laws lingering all over his body, and the chaotic fairy power entangled in it. It is said that you should not chase the desperate enemy, but Zhu Yun knew that if these demon lords were allowed to run away, there would be endless troubles. Meng Wu Ya had already told him that the Four Eyebrows clan leader was also a descendant of the nightmare demon, and his bloodline was extremely pure. If the Yinchi demon clan spread the news, who knows what kind of changes will happen in this chaotic star sea. Brother, I'm here too. Behind him, Zhu Feng followed closely, stepping on the sword of the Black Tower and flying to Zhu Yun's side. At the same time, he held the Chaos Sword in one hand and controlled Wang Jianshan in the other hand. Wang Jianshan had already smashed the Yinchi demon clan who had not escaped to death. Now, under Zhu Feng's control, it soared up with 10,000 kinds of sword power. and some of the demon lords and demons of the Yinchi demon clan looked ashen, staring at the scene blankly, without any reaction. Perhaps they also knew that with their realm, resistance was useless. They could only wait quietly for the butcher's knife to fall on them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1921. Zuyun and Zufeng chased him all the way to the outside of the Holy Demon Star. It was at this time that Zuyun discovered the problem. Zufeng, isn't this the demon refining tower? His black tower sword was made according to the demon refining tower. Zuyun didn't notice it at first, until he found it in the void. I am disconnected from the demon refining tower, Zufeng said, Aniao and I have different ideas. As Zufeng spoke, he controlled the magic energy and opened a third eye between his eyebrows. The three-eyed demon pupil technique. Brother, over there. Zufeng knew that he had to kill those demon kings first. Zuyun did the same, and quickly used the divine eye technique to find the location of the last three demon kings. The two Luoti and Xianxia dared to chase the demon king who was comparable to the immortal king. The three demon kings naturally discovered the problem. Looking back at the two of them, no other demon kings were chasing them. They could not help but make up their minds and said, there are only two Luotian immortals. If we don't kill them, we will die if we continue to chase them. A Yinchi demon king had a strange look on his face and looked at Zuyun and Zufeng approaching. Kill them. I believe that the four-browed clan leader is not far away and will help us later. Although they were suppressed by the immortal way, they still had a chance to deal with the two Luotian immortals. And they had to fight quickly to prevent the rest of the demon kings from the Holy Demon Star from rushing to the Sea of Stars. Zufeng, do you still have immortal crystals on you? Zuyun held the glass fairy mirror tightly in his hand. When he saw the three demon kings stop, he had already felt it in his heart and guessed what the other party wanted to do. Brother, take it. Zufeng threw the ring from Xianxia over. I don't know if there is one. Generally, when you reach the level of immortal kings, you usually put things into your personal space. But Xianxia was different, because of his cultivation rules, the portable space was not easy to use. Zuyun took it and explored it with his immortal consciousness, and he was overjoyed. There were tens of thousands of high-grade immortal crystals in it. It was understandable that he was the agent of Tongtian Immortal Lord in the immortal world, and he was the immortal lord in everyone's eyes. It was not surprising that he had these immortal crystals. Ready, I want to set up the formation. Zuyun's mind was focused, and he grabbed the void, and there was a large number of high-grade immortal crystals in his hand. He scattered more than a dozen immortal crystals, and they had formed the Duzwangxing II immortal formation, trapping the three demon kings directly in it. Grabbing another handful, the immortal formation expanded a lot. The three demon kings felt that the void around them suddenly changed and became much brighter, and their expressions were solemn. The other party has something to rely on, and we must not let him arrange the immortal formation. Let's kill him first. With an order, the three demon kings came up at the same time, and the Yinchi demon palm, with endless demonic energy and fishy smell, pressed towards Zuyun. Humph! Zuyun snorted disdainfully, and then he pinched the array formula with his hands. The stars are changing. Immediately, his figure disappeared from the spot. When the palms of the three people fell into the air, Zuyun turned his hands and made Zufeng disappear as well, and then appeared behind one of the demon kings. The infinite sword formula. Zufeng's eyebrows revealed a murderous intent, and the chaos sword was like nothing, pointing directly at the back of a demon king. In just a short breath, the demon king was dead. Brother! Zufeng did not fight back, but shouted, and his body disappeared at the same time as the demon king pierced by the chaos sword. It was still the stars are changing. Zuyun continued to sprinkle fairy crystals. Zufeng said, "Brother, next. Now that you have learned the devouring demon skill, you can probably swallow this demon lord, right?" Hearing this, Zufeng was stunned. Although Zuyun had known about his devouring demon skill for a long time, he had never used it in front of Zuyun. Moreover, he was still half human and half demon. So what if I am a human, so what if I am a demon? Zuyun saw the dilemma in his heart and smiled, "Brother, you just need to know that your heart is not bad, that's all. Brother, wait for me." Zufeng was very moved. While the demon lord was still breathing, he immediately used the devouring demon skill. Seeing that his mouth was like a whale swallowing demons, it suddenly split to the roots of his ears. Afterwards, an extremely strong suction force was generated, and he actually swallowed the demon lord of the yin corpse into his stomach. "Brother, help me protect the law." Zuyun said, "I am here, and the two demon lords can't hurt you at all." While speaking, Zuyun casually scattered countless fairy crystals. The space inside the Dozhuan Xianxia formation has become much larger again. Moreover, he is always aware of the positions of the two demon kings. When they get close, Zuyun will take Zufeng to another place. In the Xian formation, he is invincible. Unless the enemy has the absolute power to crush. Obviously, these two Yanxi demon kings are not. This is also the reason why Zuyun dares to chase them with Zufeng. The current goal is like this, but in fact, Zuyun is still making longer-term preparations. According to Mahumming, the Four Eyebrows clan leader was angered by him and revealed the breath of the nightmare demon. But the Yanxi demon clan still stayed here. It is conceivable that the Four Eyebrows clan leader is very likely to come back again, because he will find that the situation is out of control. Therefore, he needs to lay a barrier for the Holy Demon Star in advance. No one knows what will happen next. The nature of the nightmare demon is very hidden. But once they counterattack, they will do their best. In Dongsheng realm, in the valley connecting Yao realm and Pipa realm, Zuyun has experienced it twice. Although, those were just nightmare monsters, and the blood of nightmare monsters was not so pure. If the impure blood can do this, it is conceivable how the four-browed patriarch, who is closest to the blood of nightmare monsters, will play with the rest of the demons in his hands. Zuyun even guessed that the final means of nightmare monsters would most likely be on the channel of demon world. The fairy world finally had a short period of stability. If the demons invaded at this time, coupled with the fairy lord who might appear at any time, Zuyun knew that he could not support it alone, and finally he could only flee back to Liulai fairy world. But at that time, he was like a closed sect, self-contained, and finally he would be invaded by Tongtian fairy lord. If Zuyun was for the human race before, then now, he is for his own safety and the safety of those around him. There is no way to retreat, so he needs to take every step carefully. Zuyun continued to sprinkle the fairy crystals. The Four Eyebrow clan leader had also returned to his hiding place and stood in front of an altar. He pointed his palm, and the nail of his index finger suddenly grew an inch longer. Then, he pointed his fingertips at his eyebrows and cut off his two eyebrows. The devil's blood was overflowing, and a very strong fishy smell came out in the air. The Four Eyebrow clan leader had a gloomy face, as if his head was broken and bleeding, which made his expression even more ferocious. The plan can only start in advance, I hope there will be no accidents. He gritted his teeth and placed the two eyebrows on the altar. Boom! The devil's energy soared into the sky, and the entire wasteland trembled in the void, emitting a faint black light, spreading in all directions. Almost at the same time, in the entire Chaos Star Sea, all the demons with nightmare blood looked up at the sky. Then, their bodies began to change. Originally taking human form, it gradually transformed into various forms. Arrogance, jealousy, rage, laziness, greed, lust, gluttony. Exactly the same as the nightmare demon king that Zuyun had encountered in Dongsheng realm. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1922. Zhu Feng, are you okay? Zuyun has spread all the fairy crystals in the sea of stars. There are tens of thousands of them. He even included the holy demon star. At this moment, when he saw Zhu Feng's breath gradually calming down, he asked in a low voice. Brother, it's ready. Hearing Zhu Yun's voice, Zhu Feng suddenly opened his eyes, revealing an extremely pure black light. Then let's kill one more person. Zhu Yun nodded and said. Zhu Feng also tightened his grip on the chaos sword. Brother, I listen to you. With the cooperation of the two brothers, the two inferior demon lords who were panicking and unable to find an exit were killed by Zhu Feng one after another. Then, Zhu Feng used the demon whale swallowing technique to devour the two demon lords in the formation, and his aura also skyrocketed. After his breath gradually stabilized, Zhu Yun asked, your breakthrough is too fast. Zhu Yun also felt inferior to Zhu Feng's talent, full of envy and jealousy. Zhu Feng smiled and said, Brother, without you, how could I be where I am today? He got the true inheritance from the head of the Jingtun clan and knew what kind of drawbacks the demon swallowing technique had back then. If Zhu Yun hadn't stopped him from the brink, he might have died in the spirit world. We brothers, there is no need to say these words. Zhu Yun narrowed his eyes and said, Sankei world, what are you going to do? Zhu Yun knew that if there was a portable world, it would be quite safe in the fairy world. But Zhu Feng's courage also amazed him. He even said that giving up meant giving up. I gained my life, but I lost my luck. Zhu Feng looked at it openly and said with a smile, the world of the three talents was not created by me. If it is gone, it will be gone. It's just a pity, a bird and the demon refining tower stayed there. You can see clearly, Zhu Yun thought for a moment and said, but my Liyulai immortal realm was also obtained from Nangong Tianli. In fact, you can actually make the Sankei world into an immortal world according to my method. Hearing this, Zhu Feng was shocked and said, Immortal world? Brother, has your universe become a fairy world? Yes, Zhu Yun said with a smile, now is the fairy land, but it has not yet been fully formed. The descendants of our Zhu family are all living well in the Liyulai fairy land. The so-called descendants of the Zhu family are actually descendants of Zhu Feng. Zhu Yun's lineage has long been passed down. And even if he wanted to combine and reproduce with Menghui in the future, I'm afraid it would be extremely difficult. Zhu Yun has never thought about this problem. So what if there are descendants? He and Menghui live long lives without borders, and there is no such thing as old age care. Besides, you have to take responsibility after you are born. It seems that Zhu Feng regarded marrying a wife and having children as his mission. To be honest, he felt a little unhappy. But it was hard for him to say anything. After all, in this aspect, I am worse than Zhu Feng. Brother, since you have a fairy world, wouldn't it be great if I went to your fairy world? Why should you care about the world of three talents? What Zhu Feng was thinking was completely different from Zhu Yun, and these words made Zhu Yun stunned for a moment. After a long while, he said, Zhu Feng, don't you want to become an immortal lord and then explore a higher avenue? Avenue? Zhu Feng shook his head and said, Brother, do you know why I became possessed at that time? Now that there is no crisis for the time being, Zhu Feng also sat cross-legged on the black tower sword with a solemn expression and said, when I became possessed, I wanted to prove to my father that I am actually no worse than you. But later on, there were twists and turns, and the road to immortality was bumpy. Then I realized that brother, you will be a mountain that I can't climb in my life. Before, I didn't accept my fate. Zhu Yun frowned and said, you accepted your fate later. I didn't accept my fate later, Zhu Feng smiled, later, I just had to recognize my eldest brother. So, since my eldest brother has a fairy world, wouldn't it be nice for me to hide in his fairy world and be a happy ordinary person? Zhu Feng's heartfelt words made Zhu Yun stunned on the spot. He never thought that Zhu Feng, who was practicing like crazy, would finally choose to enter his fairy world. Brother, seeing that Zhu Yun seemed to have difficulty accepting this fact, Zhu Feng called softly again, "What about you? You have the fairy world, so you must be the fairy master." When he heard Shi Weiyuan and others calling Zhu Yun this name, he said, "Don't you want to go further up to the immortal path? When I was in the mortal world, I often heard that there are gods 3 feet above the head. But we have never seen gods, only immortals. But now, we should be regarded as immortals in the eyes of mortals, right? Yes, there are gods 3 feet above the head. Perhaps above this immortal world is the divine world." Zhu Yun raised his head, murmured, and then said, "But I am the same as you, I don't want to become a god. What can I do if I become a god? And for what purpose? It seems that my eldest brother is just like me. He has no ambitions now." Zhu Feng smiled. Zhu Yun was non-committal and said with a smile, "The eldest brother has no great ambitions and only has boundless ambitions in his heart. However, there are still brothers like you, as well as those friends and people who want to be protected by the Liuli immortal realm." After saying that, he seemed to suddenly feel a breath of relief in his heart, and said, "I swallowed 3 demon kings for you to protect the Dharma. Now that you help me protect the Dharma, I will just put this holy demon star into the Liuli immortal realm. Brother, don't worry." Zhu Feng stood up suddenly. Zhu Yun nodded and looked towards the holy demon star. One of the 10 ancient demon clans has been exterminated. As for the remaining 9 tribes, including the Holy Demon Clan, almost all of them are on the Holy Demon Star. Of course, there are still some holy demons who are fighting abroad, and all they need to do is to have Mengwei recall them. After nodding slightly, Zhu Yun became the envoy to activate the laws of time and space. The star-shifting formation formed by tens of thousands of immortal crystals has an extremely obvious effect on blocking the immortal path. Moreover, the Holy Demon Star is actually not that big. Most of the 2 powers in the Holy Demon Sea were swallowed up and absorbed by Zhu Feng, thus helping him break through to Lucian Xianxia in one fell swoop. Under this condition, Zhu Yun did not encounter much hindrance in entering the Holy Demon Star. And on the Holy Demon Star, all the demon lords, except for the soul-eating demon clan and the 3-eyed demon clan who had surrendered to Zhu Yun, looked at the changes in the world with shocked expressions on their faces. The light of immortality suddenly lit up in the sky, which was extremely difficult to see in the chaotic sea of stars. Like the aurora in the mortal world. "It doesn't matter," while everyone was panicking, Mengwei said with a sweet smile, "Just wait and wait. If you have any questions later, just ask them when Zhu Yun appears." She naturally knew that after the Holy Demon Star entered the Liuli immortal realm, Zhu Yun would appear here. As for why I didn't ask about the meaning of these demon kings, that's because all the remaining ancient demon clan members are here, so what else are there to ask? If they don't enter the glazed immortal realm, their tribe may really be gone. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1923. Zhu Feng stared at the scene blankly, his eyes moving back and forth between the Holy Demon Star and Zhu Yun's eyebrows from time to time. He even had an illusion that Zhu Yun's use was the real whale swallowing magic. He could only devour living beings. But Zhu Yun could swallow an entire planet. How many demon kings are there on it? By the way, the black spot between the eyebrows of the eldest brother looks a bit like the passage to the demon world. There is nothing to see on the Holy Demon Star, but it keeps approaching this side. Instead, Zhu Feng looked at Zhu Yun's eyebrows and could faintly feel the flow of the law. He was immediately itchy, and after careful contemplation, he stretched out his hand and passed it between his eyebrows. Three-eyed demon pupil. The magic pupil technique was immediately performed, and Zhu Feng saw an incredible scene wherever he looked. It was as if he was in an abyss, and the whole person was constantly spinning and being sucked into it. The abyss was bottomless, and countless laws of power were flowing. Chaos, 2 yin and yang, 3 talents, 4 images, 5 elements, 6 combinations. Even though he was spinning, he could still see these countless laws under the demon pupil. Fortunately, although Zhu Feng was an immortal soul, he was a half-demon body, and he had never been contaminated by the immortal way of Liuli immortal realm, and he quickly got out of it. He touched his forehead, and was already covered in cold sweat. Brother is indeed an existence that is out of my reach. But, this must be the passage to Brother Liuli immortal realm. Compared with the passage to the demon world, it always feels like something is missing. Wait until brother wakes up, and then talk to him. Zhu Feng didn't dare to continue watching. He was afraid that if he continued to watch, he would fall into it and his immortal soul would leave his body. At that time, he would really become a demon without any mind. Quietly guarding by his side, until the holy demon star flew in front of Zhu Yun, it was already as big as a fist. Zhu Feng looked at the scene in amazement, but he knew that the holy demon star had not actually become smaller. From here, the holy demon sea remained the same. And on the edge of the holy demon sea, he could even see the demons like black dots. The closer the holy demon star got to Zhu Yun's forehead, the smaller it became. Zhu Feng knew it was almost time, so he stood up. But at this moment, in the formation, the thousands of stars suddenly dimmed. But then, the starlight suddenly burst out. Someone is attacking the formation. Zhu Feng shuddered and hurriedly looked into the distance, using the three-eyed demon pupil technique at the same time. At a glance, he saw outside the formation. Countless nightmare demons were crashing into the formation. How is this possible? Zhu Feng opened his mouth wide, completely unbelievable. These nightmare demons have 7 forms, and you can recognize what they represent at a glance. We can't let them destroy the formation. I don't know how long it will take, brother. Zhu Feng tightly grasped the chaos sword in his hand, with a determined look in his eyes. At this moment, he knew to stay calm. Such a large number of people could not possibly come here at the same time without reason. Then there must be a leader. Zhu Feng knew that the more this happened, the more he had to stay calm. He was not in a hurry, but his eyes were sharp and he swept slowly. Finally, he landed on a completely different nightmare demon. This was exactly the same as the last nightmare demon king he saw in the demon refining tower at that time, which was the appearance of the 7 tribes of nightmare demons after being combined. Catch the thief first, the king, the other party is the demon king, and I can only deal with him alone. The nightmare demon king was transformed by the four-browed patriarch. When he took off his 2 eyebrows and placed them on the altar, it meant that he was going to transform into the body of a nightmare demon. The pure nightmare demon bloodline can allow him to release all his strength. Extraterritorial demon. Zhu Feng took a deep breath and flew away on the sword of the Black Tower. But the closer he got, the more familiar he felt. It's so strange, why do I feel a familiar breath on the nightmare demon? Is it because I devoured the nightmare demon king at that time? When Zhu Feng thought of this, he couldn't help but shudder. If so, will he eventually become a nightmare demon? Zhu Feng was not sure, but he suddenly made a decision in his heart. I can't go to my brother's Liuli fairyland, otherwise if I lose my mind and become a nightmare demon one day, it will be like a thorn in the Liuli fairyland. Zhu Feng took a deep breath and looked at the nightmare demon king transformed by the Four Eyebrows clan leader. The current situation also made him have no worries in his heart. Just devour it directly. What about the nightmare demon king? What about the extraterritorial demon? My life, Zhu Feng, has long been my brother's. People who should have died more than 100 years ago, Why should they live now, and why should they fear death? Zhu Feng did not stop and approached the battle array wall. Although he could see beyond the formation, he could also walk out of the formation with the help of the three-eyed demon pupil technique at his current level. But Zhu Feng did not want to leave. If he died outside the formation, he would not be able to delay time for Zhu Yun. Although the holy demon star had already flown close to Zhu Yun's forehead, Zhu Feng did not know how long it would take for Zhu Yun to wake up after inhaling it. All he could do now was to delay again and again. But after Zhu Feng felt that the distance had almost stopped, the Nightmare Demon King seemed to have sensed something and looked towards Zhu Feng. Their eyes met. Zhu Feng thought he was discovered at first. But after he found a hint of doubt in the Nightmare Demon King's eyes, he immediately knew that the other party could not see him. So why is he confused? Could it be possible that he also felt the nightmare aura in his body? Zhu Feng frowned and began to think about whether he could start from this aspect. When the formation was destroyed, he could engulf the Nightmare King in one fell swoop. After he entered the Holy Demon Star, he had never seen the Sci-fi Patriarch, so he could not recognize the aura on his body. I don't even know that the Nightmare King is just relying on his feelings. Even if he possesses the magic power of the Four-Eyebrow Demon Clan, he still cannot see through the formation. That's strange. Is it possible that there are ancient demons that I don't know about that have nightmare blood? He muttered, then withdrew his gaze, and then used the Nightmare Tribe's unique communication method to order the Nightmare Demons to increase their strength to attack the formation. They have determined their position, and the Holy Demon Star is in the formation. It seems that those ancient demons, Menguia, and others have a plan. But this is good, we can catch them all in one go. Under the relentless attack of the Nightmare Tribe, the fairy power in the fairy crystal was constantly being consumed. In the formation, the stars flickered brightly and dimly, but Zhu Yun had no idea what was happening. At this moment, he was exerting his final strength to place the Holy Demon Star into the glazed immortal realm in one fell swoop, placing the soul-eating star closer to the Chaos Lotus. It was just an act of desperation at the time. If given a choice, he would rather regard the Holy Demon Star as the center of his glazed immortal realm. Finally, Zhu Yun almost exhausted the Chaos Immortal power in his body before placing the Holy Demon Star. He also entered the Holy Demon Star directly and knew nothing about what was happening in the outside world. The shock on the Holy Demon Star finally stopped. Under the reminders of Shi Wuyuan and others, all the demons were surprised to find that their bodies were no longer suppressed by the immortal way. Mengwei waited until the noise stopped and then said with a smile, "Just wait, Zhu Yun has consumed a lot, and he needs to recover. After he recovers, he will naturally come here." Zhu Yun did not follow them to the Holy Demon Star. At this moment, he is at the gate of the Immortal Mansion on the Soul-Eating Star, absorbing the Chaos Immortal power provided by the Dragon Suppressing Stone. It would take at least a few hours for him to slowly wake up. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1924. Boom. 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 Zhu Yun was still in the process of recovering, moving around the formation, and finally couldn't resist the attacks of countless nightmares, and exploded. But the remaining immortal power of thousands of stars also exploded, forming a huge turbulent flow of immortal power. Under this turbulence, the starry sky was shaking, and many space-time cracks were torn out. Some nightmares were squeezed into the cracks and were immediately smashed into pieces. At the same time, Zhu Feng hid in the turtle shell early and escaped the damage from the surge of immortal power. Taking advantage of the chaos here, he kept a close eye on the Nightmare King. The Nightmare King constantly gives orders so that these nightmares can help their surrounding companions to reduce losses. Finally, Zhu Feng found the opportunity. The fragments of the wilderness disguised as tortoise shells were very inconspicuous in the turbulent flow of immortal power. He controlled them and flew towards the Nightmare King in an irregular manner. Wait until the Demon King realizes that this fragment is extremely unusual. Zhu Feng suddenly stretched out his head like a turtle head. He opened his mouth, and the huge mouth that was split to the base of his ears suddenly produced an extremely huge suction force. The whale swallowing demonic skill. Zhu Yun was hysterical, roaring like a heart-rending roar, with a sense of determination, and swallowed the unsuspecting Nightmare King into his belly. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Zhu Feng swallowed it in one gulp, laughed wildly and retracted his head into the turtle shell. Then, he frantically controlled the demonic energy and immortal power in his body, constantly strangling and refining the Demon King of satisfaction. Bang! 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 The Nightmare King kept banging around in his stomach, and at the same time, an extremely fishy smell kept coming out of his mouth and nose. But there is no way at all. What about the Demon King? What about the extraterrestrial demons? For a time, the other nightmares, without anyone to command them, turned into a piece of loose sand. They are not very intelligent to begin with. They don't even have the body of the nightmare, they are just one of the 7 bodies. In addition, the formation was destroyed and the holy demon star disappeared. Even though he was in a sea of chaotic stars, he didn't know what to do next. The cracks in time and space are still there, harvesting the lives of some nightmares from time to time. But despite this, at a glance, there is no edge at all. In the chaos, the entrance and exit had disappeared. Mayan Bay Fairy Kingdom also ceased to exist. No more chaos immortal snow flows out from it, turning into the purest chaos immortal power. The original snow also began to melt slowly, and then turned into various kinds of free immortal power, spreading towards the fairy world. But no one knew. Because no one exists in Mayan Bay Fairy Kingdom anymore. In the chaotic sea of stars, something big seems to have happened. Immortal Lord Tongtian is trying to refine the entire chaos for his own use. In his hand, there was a chaos lotus. This is a fact that no one knows. It is also his only gain from being trapped in chaos for many years. Through the chaos lotus and chaos, he discovered the strange movement in the fairy world. After feeling it carefully, he found that the strange movement came from the chaotic star sea. The laws there were incomplete and the immortal way was also affected, making it difficult for him to accurately know that the holy demon star was missing. Is it possible that the demon from outside the territory is about to attack? He frowned, but then relaxed. Humph, after this immortal master has dealt with the chaos, what will the extraterrestrial demons mean? He closed his eyes again. As for what would happen to the Chaos Star Sea, what would happen to the demon clan and the extraterrestrial demons, he didn't care at all. His goal has always been the entire fairy world. As for the creatures in the fairy world, he doesn't care about life or death. Get chaos, and then get the fairy land. At that time, the origin of the entire fairy world can truly be used by him. Zhu Yun, you are finally here. On the holy demon star, everyone was looking forward to it. Finally, they arrived at Zhu Yun. Mengwei was smiling. She was also a little surprised that Zhu Yun placed the holy demon star into the glazed immortal realm so easily. Seeing Zhu Yun at this time, he was naturally very happy. You can't blame me, Zhu Yun also said with a smile, after all, I still only have immortal Luo Tian. If I can break through the immortal lord, I don't need to restore the chaos immortal power. From the soul-eating demonic star to the holy demonic star, Zhu Yun only used one thought. I've met the immortal lord. After seeing Zhu Yun greeting Mengwei, all the demons present knelt down at the same time and paid homage to Zhu Yun. Zhu Yun was stunned at first, but then he found out that Mengwei, Shi Yuan and others must have told them what happened. With a chuckle, he waved his hand and said, no need to be polite, you just need to live naturally in this Liuli immortal world. In addition, do you all know the rules here? Immortal Master doesn't need to say anything, he will naturally know. The leader of the Yoluo clan said excitedly. Compared to other demon clans, she learned from Menghui that there were actually humans who practiced the Yoluo demonic skill on the soul-eating demonic star. How can you not like this? The leader of the Triangle clan said, "Bless the immortal Lord, our place in the sea of chaotic stars was originally just a deserted land, but now." Zuyun knew what he wanted and smiled at the demons. "You can find a place in the three-eyed demon star or the soul-eating demon star. However, I suggest that it is better to go to the three-eyed demon star. There are many human races on the soul-eating demonic planet." At that time, all the creatures on the glazed star were transferred to the soul-eating demonic star. In addition, the size of the soul-devouring demon star is several times smaller than that of the three-eyed demon star. "Well, let's go to the three-eyed demon star," the triangle demon said to Xianxia with a smile. "Demon Lord Yan, I wonder if you can welcome our triangle demon clan." Xianxia laughed and said, "Patriarch Sang is so polite, I am honored. The triangle clan leader's name is Sangs." "That's great." The triangle clan leader bowed to Zuyun and said, "Then immortal Lord Zhu, we won't bother you here. If you have any questions, just go to the three-eyed demon star and ask for your orders. In fact, these demons are people who can take it or leave it. They are generous by nature, but because it is difficult to survive in the Chaos Star Sea, and the tribe is also threatened with destruction, they become a little nervous, and finally they are used by the Four Eyes clan leader. In essence, they are not bad. Otherwise, Menghui would not have kept them at that time." As the three-eyed demon clan left, the rest of the ancient demons also chose the three-eyed demon star. They are very tactful. This has been learned from Menghui. Although all beings in Liuli immortal realm are equal. But sometimes, Zuyun is not convenient to say, but they have to take the initiative to do it. Menghui will undoubtedly be Zuyun's woman. The holy demon star will naturally become a forbidden area in a sense. And the soul-devouring demon star, as the first world star to enter Liuli immortal realm, also has extraordinary significance. It is already the best choice to have a three-eyed demon star. Master Zhu, after all the demons left, only the original holy demon clan was left, and the chief of the whale-devouring clan came forward and asked, "Excuse me, where is our future chief, Zhu Feng, now?" Zuyun smiled slightly. "That's right, I'll bring him here." After that, he flashed and left Liuli immortal realm and entered the Chaos Star Sea. In an instant, the countless nightmare demons suddenly had a target, and their eyes all looked at Zuyun. This number. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 1925. Where's Zhu Feng? Also, where do these 7 sin demons come from? Zuyun was extremely frightened. When he saw the nightmare demons in various forms, his first reaction was that they were the nightmare demons of the 7 races. But as the demonic energy surged from their bodies, Zuyun's expression suddenly changed. These are nightmares. The level of demonic energy in their bodies is such that every one of them has the realm of Demon Lord. The Demon Lord is comparable to the immortal Luo Tian. But fortunately, although there are many, to Zuyun, those in the same realm are nothing. It seems that it was the Four Eyebrows Patriarch who wanted to trap the holy demon star here. Zuyun withdrew his gaze. Among so many nightmare demons, even if he had the divine eye technique, he could not find Zhu Feng immediately, so he had to decide to kill these nightmare demons first. Zhu Feng possesses the whale-swallowing demon-swallowing skill, which allows him to swallow even demon kings. He probably retreated temporarily after seeing so many nightmares. Just thinking like this, Zuyun also put his mind at ease and turned to prepare to deal with these nightmares. Through their irrational charging towards them, Zuyun was able to judge that these nightmares were just numerous and not something to be afraid of. Humph, it's just right, let me try it out. He took 2 steps back and took out his glazed fairy mirror. Above the fairy mirror, laws circulate. In the Liuli immortal realm, he has already restored the chaos immortal power to its full strength. Time and space, restricted area. This was a magical trick he came up with when he was about to take action. It was inspired by the chaos in Purgatory Mountain and the fairy world. Lin Zhenghong completely passed on the mountain ceiling formation to Zuyun. He naturally knew the mystery of it. With just a little thought, he could know the key to the chaos of time and space. Zuyun took advantage of the formation of this chaotic time and space, and used his own laws of time and space to present it in another way. The so-called restricted area naturally means that entry is prohibited. This is the void outside the fairy world, and it is also the space-time rift drawn by Zuyun himself. Even he himself doesn't know where the nightmare will go after entering it. His eyes narrowed, and the chaos immortal power in his hands continued to open up the dark space-time crack in front of him. As his immortal power circulated, the cracks formed like a chasm, becoming a real restricted area. Zuyun didn't even need to cast other spells at all, these nightmares just plunged in on their own. They cannot cross this time and space restricted area. He can only do one hexagram after another, as if being swallowed up by this restricted area. But soon, Zuyun discovered that such a large time and space restricted area consumed a lot of his immortal power. Thinking of these tens of thousands of nightmares, Zuyun calmed down a little. The time and space restricted area has been reduced by half, but its effect has not been reduced. At the same time, nightmares from other directions were also approaching here. Zuyun followed the same method and narrowed the time and space restricted area again, but using his mastery of the laws of time and space, he stretched the restricted area into an arc to surround himself. In this case, no matter where these nightmares come from, they will eventually be swallowed up by the time and space restricted area. It's not bad, but it's a pity that it's useful for living beings without intelligence. Zuyun sighed slightly. This is the most obvious disadvantage of the time and space restricted area. Just like at this time, his head and feet can still be entered. But unfortunately, those nightmares didn't care at all and would not enter from these 2 directions. But gradually, Zuyun found that it was not so easy anymore. Because the nightmares are endless. He tried to use his divine eyes to look into the distance. I found that there are countless nightmares coming towards here. Why are there so many nightmares? Zuyun frowned, originally thinking of summoning Shi Wuyuan and dozens of other demon lords to deal with it together. But then I thought about it, with their magical powers, it was probably just a drop in the bucket, and it would be difficult to destroy these nightmares. It's better to save yourself so much effort. But after all, he is still the immortal Luo Tian, and there will always be times when he is exhausted. Although in the immortal mansion, the dragon suppressing stone continuously provided him with chaotic immortal power, he never stopped. We can't make ends meet, what should we do? With every breath, countless nightmares take the initiative to penetrate into the restricted space and time. But with every breath, Zuyun will also consume the chaos immortal power. This situation. There are only 2 solutions. Increase revenue and reduce expenditure. It was obvious that throttling was not possible. He had already done so and had reduced the time and space restricted area to a certain extent. If it were reduced further, there would probably be nightmare monsters jumping over. Then there is only open source. How to open source? Only brand new magic. But at this time, from the current point of view, this is the most labor-saving magic. Unless he can understand other magical arts. The laws of time and space have come to an end, so what else is left? Zuyun murmured to himself, with such imperial power and laws, his body had almost formed an instinct, which also allowed Zuyun to distract himself and meditate. The laws of space and time are originally formed by the fusion of the laws of time and the laws of space. What is used in this is actually the avenue of Lianji and chaos. Lianji is the combination of yin and yang. Zhu Yun whispered to himself, and gradually thought of Menghui's yin and yang chaotic circle. I still remember the first time I saw the yin and yang chaotic circle on the yellow star. Zhu Yun tried to use the Pakuling Eye technique to see it. Not only was he almost shocked by this, but he was only left with a gray-white blur in his mind. Light and shadow. It was as if everything was fused together, and the circle of chaos kept spinning in my eyes. Is it, that the will of the world is reminding me that all things can be transformed into chaos? In fact, he had already had such a conjecture, but he had never experienced it personally. Even if in the end, he tried to synthesize the laws of time and space into chaos according to the yin and yang Dao, but what he got was not the law of chaos. Zhu Yun's understanding of the laws of chaos is still in chaos. The chaos escape technique actually originated from the 5 elements escape technique. The 5 elements of spiritual power had already been synthesized by Zhu Yun into the power of chaos when he went down to the lower realm. When you arrive in the fairy world, you will naturally become the chaos immortal power. At that time, Zhu Yun realized the chaos escape technique, and he always felt that this was the reason. But after thinking about it carefully, Zhu Yun vaguely felt that he had a deeper understanding of the avenue of chaos. While he was thinking in the glazed immortal realm, the chaos lotus suddenly trembled. He and Li Yulicine had already formed a balance, and they were in a state where I was in you and you were in me, but they suddenly started to spin again. The chaos lotus begins to bloom. Li Yuli star is slowly shrinking, until the glazed star suddenly turned into a seed and completely entered the main stem of the chaos lotus. At this moment, the chaos lotus suddenly released gray-white light, spreading towards the surroundings. Boom! 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 Countless creatures above the 3 magic stars heard this loud noise coming from the starry sky. They looked up. I saw the starry sky flowing, and the gray lights were like thousands of rivers, running past their magic star and then going away. At the same time, Zhu Yun suddenly opened his eyes. The aura in him also exploded because of it. Chaos can turn everything into chaos, and everything can turn into chaos. Immortal Lord? I have become it? As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud noise in Zhu Yun's head. He knew that this was the chaos of his Li Yuli immortal realm. It was done. However, he never thought that chaos would be transformed by the entire chaos lotus.